Well, thank you for joining us for your morning cup of gratitude. My name is Joel Gackle, and I serve as the Senior Director of Alumni Engagement here at Augustana. We're so thankful you could join us. We're also thankful to have 2020 in our rear view and looking forward to a year of promise and of health. We realize you still can't join us on campus, so I feel so honored to bring these stories to you. With me today is Connor Hansen. Connor is a sophomore from Aberdeen studying Government and International Affairs and Economics. Connor, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So Connor, first question, are you a coffee drinker, a tea drinker, hot chocolate, or none of the above?
Oh, I kind of do coffee and tea in the mornings when you wake up. That caffeine boost is so important. But in the evenings when you don't really need caffeine before you sleep, a nice cup of tea helps you de-stress at the end of a long day. But,
and how's J-term going for you?
J-term's been going well. It's I have a presentation in my class tomorrow that I'm just a little bit stressed about, but other than that, it's been going great.
Okay. So how did you decide on Augustana? What did that journey look like for you?
It was very confusing because fall of my senior year was very much like I didn't even want to think about what college is. And so then December hit and it was like, oh goodness, I have to apply to. And so I shot out applications to just about every college in the Midwest. My parents were adamant that I stay within at least a day's drive, which for Midwest people is of course a very lenient sentence, but no, I wanted to stay close to home. And so as that picture started to get more finalized, it was clear that Augustana was not only the best school, is the best financial option for me. And it's just, at the end of the day, just kind of felt like a no-brainer.
So now you are a student athlete, which also presents a unique element. What is it like being a student athlete in the midst of a pandemic?
It was, it's been a very interesting experience. When this all started back in March, it's my first time being in like an off-season sports program, and we had just gone on spring break, and I went to one of my buddies who lives out in Utah, and the whole time we would go every morning and we would be working out because we were expecting to come back in a week and start doing spring football practices. And then you get an email one day from school saying we're going to extend spring break by a week, and it's like, okay, I got to rearrange my flights and this will be weird. And then in the coming days and months, you realize that things are very much not going to be normal. And it was a tumultuous time to be fair. And yeah, it was crazy. And then you go back home and maybe we'll go back at Easter, but no, I got to say the coaches and the staff that we have and my teammates have been just really awesome, and not only supporting each other, but continuing to keep us motivated. There was definitely a point in like the middle of June when it's like, oh, this could really go for a while. And then you get the news that you're not having a season, and it's hard to stay motivated when you don't have those concrete goals. But it's been interesting, and we were able to get out there and get after a little bit in October, and that was very exciting for me as a player and as a young guy on the team. But it's been a good time. We've done absolutely the best we can, and I'm grateful to even have the opportunity at this point.
So what has Coach O and the rest of the coaching staff meant to you?
Oh, they've meant the world to me. I mean, back I'm a walk-on to the team, and football was kind of an afterthought for me at the point when I was applying. I didn't really get a whole lot of attention out of high school. And my head football coach talked to me May 1st when I finalized that I was going to Augie, and he said, "Hey, you want me to send your tapes down there and see if they'll let you?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? Worst they could say is no." Well, that night, Coach OJ called me and said, "Connor, we'd love to have you on the team. When can you come down?" And I was like, oh, this is the thing that's happening. Oh, I got to get in shape again. But no, so even just from the onset, I felt like they definitely took a chance on me from a tiny school in Aberdeen, South Dakota. It was, and they meant the world to me. You know, I feel particularly close to my position coaches and to Coach OJ, and he's been, he is really, especially in this COVID era has really stepped up and shown what a good leader should look and act like. And it's been impressive to watch. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to continue to learn from him, not only as a football player and as watching him coach, but just as a person. He's such a powerful role model, I feel like, for the community. It's wonderful.
So as you arrived here for studies with football being kind of an afterthought, how did you land on government and econ? What did that look like for you?
Well, in high school, I did a lot of speech and debate, and that was something that I was particularly passionate about. My family is big into politics. My mom worked on President Herseth Sandlin's campaigns for Congress back in the early 2000s. And so she has this little picture of me in the kitchen, and it's my mom and Stephanie, and here I am in like a little onesie because I'm like 5 months old at the time. So politics have always been kind of a big part of my family, and it was something that at a young age I felt naturally inclined to pursue. And the opportunity at Augustana arose to study those two things, and it felt like a bit of a no-brainer. And government and economics, they really do kind of go hand in hand. Money's an important thing, and understanding how it works and how people use it is there's a lot of cohesiveness between the two of them. So it works very well, I think. But yeah.
So how has being at Augustana and part of the community impacted your desire to serve others?
Oh gosh, I remember it was the fall of this year. I took a philosophy class as part of my General Sophia requirements with Dr. O'Hara, and he came into class one day and he said, "We're gonna deviate from the syllabus a little bit here." One of his close mentors at that point had just gotten COVID, and he was an elderly man, and he didn't have long to live. And he opened the class with almost like a eulogy for this mentor of his that he had from his time in grad school. And it was listening to that I thought to myself, wow, this is such a powerful moment for him. And to what that man could have meant to him to have this almost 30 or 40 years after the fact, that's something that I want to be able to give to other people and have that kind of impact on people's lives. And Augustana is all about service. It absolutely makes sense that this university helps me with that in every way. It's incredible.
So you talked about how Dr. O'Hara deeply impacted you there. What is it like for some of our donors? They might be alums and haven't been on campus for decades. For others, it might just be this year because of COVID. What is it like being a student here right now?
It's interesting because I only had the first 6 months of my freshman year I was just kind of hitting my stride in terms of like, okay, this is where everything's at, and it's all kind of making sense, and I get how the buildings are numbered and stuff, and then, oh, we're online. Great. But no, it's, the school has done such a good job trying to keep things as normal as possible. Of course, there are masks everywhere you go on campus. The only place I'm allowed to not wear it is here in my dorm room. But other than that, it's been about as close to normal as possible. I still see my classmates in between classes. I still go to practice every day. It can still clubs and events are still happening. Obviously the school's policies about COVID and disinfecting and the masks have been, you notice the change, but it's really been clearly a lot of forethought and effort was put into it, because the transition back to being on campus in the fall of this year was nearly seamless. It was incredible. It's been a great experience so far this year.
Good. Well, you mentioned you were looking kind of for that sweet spot of the school that provided the best academic opportunity, but also one that provided scholarships. So without scholarships, what would your time at Augustana have looked like?
Oh goodness. I don't even want to think about it. I probably couldn't be able to afford going to school here. It's, the scholarship package that I get from the school is the perfect size. I'm not taking out a whole lot of loans, which I'm eternally grateful for looking at interest rates. But on the off chance that I didn't get that, I probably wouldn't be able to play football. can't really have a job and play a sport. That or a lot more student loan debt, and that's a daunting thing to look at when you're 20 years old, and it's like, oh, you'll be paying this off for the next 20 years, and you'll be your parents' age by the time you're financially independent. That's a hard pill to swallow. So I'm grateful that Augustana is so able to support me. It's been great.
What is there any last things you'd like to say to our donors who have created scholarships for students and others like you to make their dream of Augustana a reality?
Thank you. I couldn't do it without the support of donors, and I don't know any of them personally, but I can't possibly fathom the impact on my life that people I don't even know have had, and it's a powerful thing to think about every now and then. It's just it makes you wake up some mornings and you're just really grateful for the opportunities you have, especially with how crazy everything is around the world today. It's just, I don't even know what to say.
Well, Connor, I think you said it best, because I think if there's one thing that we can all commit to doing in 2021 is having more gratitude. I'm thankful for you, for other stories like you. I'm thankful for donors who helped put together the scholarships that brought you here, and for everyone who's watching this, who are part of that community of donors to make these dreams come true. Thank you so much. Without you, I couldn't share these stories. And until next time, thank you and have a great day.